Q&Asa. Game on Daily.
Welcome to the world of Q&Asa. The past, present and future of gaming all converge and everyone relaxes and has a good time talking about games and stuff. I see plenty of people already here. Alex S, Ghost Fixer, Isla Tom, Replicant, Tony, some people above. I can't even scroll up that far. Ghost Fixer, Ghost Fixer. Yeah, welcome everybody. How are we all doing? This is going to be a turbo run, really short show that runs for like less than an hour because I'm just going to be making these Forza car noises. But before we do that, let's run over how the show works for those that don't know. Typically every week I say the show's going to run for an hour and then it runs for 3. I got a good feeling about this week. It's going to be a nice short one, but we'll see. It's a conversational show. You all talk in there to me, you talk to each other, and we just go back and forth and talk about all the gaming kind of things. There's a couple of topics, not too many this week, to kind of guide it along, but really it is very free form. Just have a little chat about games. If that's not working out for you, if you're talking in chat and I'm missing everything that you're saying because I'm on top chat like I am right now, one sec, then there are other ways to get in touch. Oh, I didn't even need that mouse. All that reaching for the wrong one. There are other ways to get in touch. You can, I've forgotten the order that I normally present these in, but you can jump onto Discord if you like. There is a Game on Daily Discord server. Stick yourself into Waiting Room B, Waiting Room 2, or Waiting Room Knuckles. I can drag you into the show. You can spend a couple of minutes talking to me, talking to the world, saying whatever you want to say. Nobody ever does that, but the option is always there so that you can if you want to. Good evening, Baz. You just got a message to say be nice. Yeah. It wasn't targeted at anyone in particular. I just realized that actually I can set little guidelines and rules, and I ran out. Rule number 1 should have been like, drop the console war bullshit. And then I figured there's probably more important things in life than dropping console war stuff. So we got a nice vague set of rules there. But yes, there's a Discord server. You can come in there, you can talk. There will be a Q&A box that appears on YouTube. So YouTube's questions and answers box. You can stick whatever you want in there, apart from riddles. At the end of the show, we go through those one at a time, read them all out. So you will get a response to anything that you type in there. Not necessarily an answer, especially if it's a bloody riddle, but you'll get something. Option 4. Oh, we're going to go real low hanging fruit on the super chat today. So you can super chat. There's a minimum price of $412 or equivalent in your local currency, which is the lowest it's ever been and probably the lowest it will ever be. So if you've been looking for an opportunity to have a super chat read out, $412, that's the way to do it. I'll read every word of it. So yeah, don't do that. Super chats are open on the channel for anyone that's got money to throw away. If you're sitting on a pile of cash and you don't know what to do with it, can't even take it, don't know how to take cash. But if you're sitting on a pile of digital cash and you don't know what to do with it, then you can super chat really. Well, I don't encourage it or try and demand it from anyone. Option. Are there any more options or was that all of it? That's probably all of it. That's enough options. No. Voice gone. How you doing, RWK? Right, before we get into the thing that I just said we were going to get into, all of the topics, a quick word from our sponsor. Pigeon Message. Pigeon Message is nothing to do with our sponsor. It's Game on Daily. News aggregation, social media kind of platform. Go there, talk about games, talk to people. Still hopeful that moves forwards one day, but time will tell. Still, good website, good ideas there. And when there are people on it, they usually turn out to be good people. So, I'm dying. I'm dying. I did not have chili before the show today, so I've got no excuse for being a sweaty mess, and yet here I am as a sweaty mess. So the main thing that we're going to do on the show today is we're all going to listen to Peter Morland tell us what he thinks of Forza Motorsport. Peter, stop racing. Come and tell us what you think of Forza Motorsport. We always start with a little section on what we're playing at the moment, what I'm playing at the moment, what all of you are playing at the moment, and we have a little talk about them. I know that Peter is playing Forza Motorsport right now because the early access launch of Forza Motorsport was today, yesterday, somewhere around that kind of region of time. So some people are playing it. Peter, Discord interview. Peter has Discord. He could jump on there and tell us all about Forza if he wanted to. He would be very welcome to. But at the moment, I think he's busy smashing around Brands Hatch or something like that. I have no idea what tracks are in Forza Motorsport. Tony, main thing is MetaQuest 3 and why is the performance trash wireless? What are you talking about? What does that even mean? I use a MetaQuest Pro wireless and it has the same wireless chipset as the Quest 3 as far as I know. And it's beautiful wireless. Unless you're talking about the native performance, unless you're saying why is it like small native hardware. High on Life DLC, the High on Knife DLC. So the game is High on Life, the DLC is called High on Knife. It's the only thing you've tried this week. Is it good, Baz? I still haven't played through base High on Life because I figured while I was playing it that it would be quite fun in VR. So I'll wait. And wait and wait and wait. And eventually I will play that one in VR. And it'll be fun. Who else has been playing games? We've got... So Cocoon's been out. I'm sure I know some of you have been playing Cocoon. Maybe some Mortal Kombat. Gotham Knights has just dropped on Game Pass. Warhammer Darkside has just dropped on Game Pass. Some of you must have been playing some things. Cocoon is so last year, yells Tony aggressively while stomping his feet and not explaining his MetaQuest 3 wireless comment at all. It's good, really good if you like High on Life. So presumably just more of the same sense of humour. I did, so I only played the first hour or two of High on Life and I did enjoy it. I just thought it would be more fun in the VRs. Oh, you're playing Pokemon again because Jack insisted. When you say playing it again, you mean resuming your game because you need more trainer medals or badges or whatever it is that game gives you. Medals? I don't know. You need more things. Or have you started again? Tony, you downloaded the Robocop demo. I saw some footage of the Robocop demo that looked really good. I also saw an apology from the developer saying, I'm sorry, it doesn't work very well. So I don't know what the story is there as to how bad it is. Badges, I said badges. I don't know how, like, what the problems are with the Robocop demo, but the footage I've seen of it looked really fun. You can shoot stuff and you can shoot stuff. You can shoot people and you can shoot stuff. Robocop VR confirmed. I would love that. Oh, of course, yeah, Replicant got a quest. I remember. Replicant, did you play those? So both of those games you can play natively on the Quest, or you can play them PC VR. Did you play Vader Immortal and Saints and Sinners Quest native, or powered by your RTX 4080, 4090, whatever it is you've got today? You played it native. How were they? Vader Immortal was like one of the first flagship Quest games that they were using to sell the potential of the device. I definitely have to reprimand you for playing them native. If you've got a PC like you've got, play it on the PC wirelessly, especially Saints and Sinners. Like, such a big difference between the PC version and the Quest version. So play it a little bit natively to make sure that you like the concept and don't feel sick. But if you're all good with it, definitely PC version, wireless streaming. Kind of depending on your home network setup, but even if it's your friends, you should sabotage it. Here's Peter. Peter's going to tell us all about Forza Motorsport. Peter, you are very welcome to come onto Discord and tell us about Forza Motorsport if you want to, or you can type things, but you must tell us all about Forza Motorsport because I've got nothing to say about it, and it's one of the main things happening right now. Ghost 60 is still multitasking between 2077, Mortal Kombat, and Starfield as well. So, did I play Starfield this week? Yeah, I played Starfield on Monday. I keep getting blown up. Keep getting blown up. And not on purpose. Sometimes on purpose. They really don't like my spaceship. I can't remember. So I played Starfield on Monday, only the one day this week. And I can't remember if I achieved anything at all. Or if I just got blown up and arrested a couple of times. Sure is pretty in places though, that game. Can he go on Discord and type his opinions just so you can hear the keyboard clacking? He can, yeah, I'd welcome that as well, Isla. That would be fine too. But it is up to Peter. He's probably finished his pit stop and got back to racing. So we'll find out on his next break. Tom, you had the quest moment which made you smile most in Starfield. You just had the quest moment that made you smile the most. Ah. Forza isn't for you. Forza isn't for me either, Replicant. Partly because, to be fair, no, I'd be all over Forza if it was in VR. But as racing games go, my preference leans more towards either rally or arcadey things. Over and above sim. Is that even strictly true? I'm not sure. I don't take much joy from spinning out. But I do think I quite enjoy the sim races, actually. Yeah, no, I'd be all over Forza if they gave me a VR mode. As it happens, I will probably play some Forza on a Sunday community stream. Not this week, because I won't have it by then. But the following week, when everyone's got Forza downloaded on Game Pass, then we can exchange paint around the circuits. And you're having fun with Crew Motorfest on Ubisoft Plus. See, I tried the Crew Motorfest on Ubisoft Plus. I got as far as downloading it. I enabled HDR, screen just went to shit, like properly washed out, pale nonsense. I closed the game and the whole of Windows was washed out, pale nonsense. And I was like, what? The Crew on PC does something really, like a really weird interaction with the way that Windows handles HDR. So once I'd got it back in place and working, I uninstalled the Crew Motorfest because I cannot be dealing with technical difficulties every time I try and play one particular game. So tell me, Replicant, am I wrong though? Is it actually really fun? Should I persevere and play some Crew Motorfest? It can't hold up against Forza Horizon, can it? Who owns wheels here? Tony. I own a wheel. I have not used it with Forza. I bought it specifically for Forza like a long time ago, back when Xbox were promising VR. I assumed that I would be using that wheel with Forza. Forza, by reputation though, doesn't support wheels very well, so I don't know if the new one... I've not seen anyone say whether it's made improvements in that regard or not. Because I can play... It's an Xbox wheel, but I plug it into the PlayStation, and I can play Gran Turismo, and the wheel to game motion is 1-for-1, so I'm not convinced that it's allowing enough rotation for some of the cars that are in there, but however much I move the steering wheel in real life, my driver in the game will move the steering wheel that exact amount in Gran Turismo, and it feels good. The driving model works well with the wheel. Forza doesn't have a reputation for doing that in the previous iterations, so I'd be very curious to know if that has been fixed for Forza Motorsport 8, because a wheel in a racing game is about as important as a VR headset. Has to have both to be good for me. Wheel support, VR support, then it's a good racing game. Assuming it's a good racing game. Tom, you're looking forward to Forza. You might take your wheel to telly if you can be asked. I'm not going to move my wheel to my telly. I've been very tempted to set up vibrati seat, or to save up like 3,000 quid and get a proper motion rig, but I don't have that. So, but I do have all the parts, all of the bass shakers to make a vibrati rig, and I miss it. Peter, are you coming onto Discord to tell us about Forza, or are you going to type it? Baz, you got a Sega Saturn wheel in the loft, if that counts. Of course it counts. Why is it in the loft? What Sega Saturn games did you play with the wheel? It's a funny thing to consider when you consider development of like a sim racing game, or really any racing game on a console, but any racing game that includes online play. and you think that they have to balance the handling model of a car, like sim the way that a car drives using a steering wheel, and then map that to a controller. It's like an impossible task, so it's really curious. It would be easier if they had some separation where wheel users never come across again, like never encounter control pad users, so they don't have to have a fair model and they can focus on making both of them as good as they can be in their own right. But they have to make them as good as they can be in their own right whilst keeping it balanced for a race, so that one control method isn't smashing all the lap times or whatever, so that both of them feel fun, but both of them under the hood affect the car in like an equivalent way. So crazy. I couldn't do that, make a game that caters for both that well, which is it's always the problem that the project cars used to have. When the project cars 1 and 2, I should say, when they were more simmy, they got lambasted for not having brilliant controller controls, and then on project cars 3 they tried to straddle that line a little bit and offer better controller support, but it didn't go so well with the wheel fans, and that game kind of flopped because people were mad that it wasn't such a sim anymore. That's racing games anyway. My ideal racing game would be Forza Horizon 2, 3, 4 or 5 in virtual reality. Any one of them would be brilliant. Why you Gotham Knights in the background? Because it seemed relevant. I am still recycling backgrounds of old, and Gotham Knights dropped into Game Pass like this week or last week, so it seemed like a relevant time to recycle this backdrop. Does it upset you, Tony? Are you playing Gotham Knights? Is anyone playing Gotham Knights either as a result of it dropping onto Game Pass, or you played it ages ago when it came out? What's the story? Do we have Gotham Knights fans or haters? You really enjoyed Gotham Knights last year. Oh, Replicant, I don't know how. Teach me. Did you play it with anyone? Did you co-op it? I did not enjoy Gotham Knights from what I played of it. The detective puzzles in it I found quite upsetting. Like, that's not detective work. That's pick random bullshit clues and do trial and error until you let me through. There's no reason why the code is going to be on the freaking microwave keyboard. This is not detective work. So I got upset by even the tutorial detective puzzles. And then I got out into the city proper, and it's like, there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. I don't get it. I did get to watch some hostages get exploded when I failed a bomb mission. That was about as entertaining as that game got for me. But if anyone were to co-op it, then like I could try again. Maybe it would be way more fun with 2 people. Most things are improved in that situation, right? Baz, you used to play Daytona. Yeah, Daytona was brilliant. One of my favorite like multiplayer experiences. So Daytona USA had an 8-player arcade cabinet, which was really rare to see. Not many arcades in the UK would have the full 8-player setup. Usually you get 2 or 4 if you were lucky. But if you went into a normal arcade, you'd have to pay like £1 per race, and the races lasted no time at all, so you got very little opportunity to play on it. But if you went to Sega World at the Trocadero, they had it set up as like a theme park ride with a queue going round and just 8 people. I went on it so many times at the Trocadero. Oh, it was good fun. You went on it enough times that you could afford to race backwards and just smash into people. Tom, you're indifferent to Gotham Knights. That's how you should be, indifferent to it. Wait a minute. That train's going the wrong way. It's going to crash into a different train. I may have looped this background with a little bit of rewinding going on. Dangerous. But as you wanted to like it, but for £10 it wasn't too bad. Yeah, £10 is a good price for Gotham Knights. Game Pass is a good price for Gotham Knights. I don't want to be too harsh. I just didn't enjoy it. Peter, you're not sure if you can say much or if you're truly connected, but you're in the waiting room. Yes, we're going to get... Peter, you're going to hear me first of all. I drop you in there. You're not on stream yet. They won't hear you. But But you can say things to me and I'll hear you. You may also need to mute your YouTube because you might have too much. Yeah, I can hear me. I can hear me in the background. Mute YouTube. Prepare yourself. Are you ready? Here comes Peter to tell you all about Forza. It's all right. It's too late, Peter. You're live now. Oh, that bollocks. That looks wrong. Now you're live. Here's Peter. Peter's going to tell everyone. So how long have you been playing Forza Motorsport so far, Peter?
Well, at 1 minute past midnight, I played it for about 5 minutes, and then about half an hour earlier. But unfortunately, like I always do, I restart games over and over again until I understand what's going on. I've seen so
you don't even make a
really
character, Peter.
Hey, I got a special uniform because I paid 30 quid for some silly early access thing. So far it looks really interesting because it puts you through several laps just to find out whether you're useless or not. And I started playing this and I thought, shit, I'm doing really well. It was, I'm going to win this. And then you
realised all the assists were on and it was actually steering for you.
Yeah, exactly. It was doing absolutely fucking everything. And so I put it up to what seemed like a more reasonable level, which was balanced assists. And I've had several goes at the opening laps with that, but I've just been interrupted several times and stopped and turned it off to do things. But the last time I was about a half a second off of the lap time that they said would be a competitive lap time. So I'm
so you threw a tantrum and you restarted the game from the beginning.
I even deleted my save game, but it made no fucking difference. The great thing about starting it.
Yeah, talk me through why you start again.
No. The thing that was really great about playing it so early was the first thing that the first score, whatever they call them. The first thing that came up was you've got 10 points for welcome to, and it was only 0.3% of people have got this. I got a diamond award because I played it so early. But I'm going to play it all over the weekend. Well, not all over the weekend because I will go back to Starfield because I want to find out if I can marry her again, young Sarah.
You've already married her once and it didn't end well, but you're going to try your chances again.
Well, she's lovely, but I don't know.
I need to know then.
Yeah.
So, did you play much Forza Motorsport 7 or previous ones in general?
I've played all of them, and I think with 7, I got really pissed off with all the haters when you were playing multiplayer. Because if you just made a mistake, you would get absolutely trolled. And
Does one feel much different to 7? Can you tell the handling model's improved, the contact points and the tyres and the physics and all of this stuff? Is it like, wow, the driving model has been revamped, or does it feel kind of the same?
If I'm honest, Asa, it's so long since I've played it that I can't tell you that. And it probably bears no resemblance to Forza Horizon at all, because that's pure arcade. So as I said, I can't really tell you very much other than I've had a quick go at it. But a couple of days' time, I'll have more ideas.
And you're looking forward to, you're going to use this practice time to get ahead of the game, and then we're all going to race, right? Once it's on Game Pass.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I read was that before you can play multiplayer, you have to have had several goes and not have too many penalty points. I think they're actually trying to sort of filter out the absolute Tonys, because Tony did say that he likes to use other cars to corner.
Well, we're going to have to find a way to get Tony in so he can participate as well.
I've always used other cars to corner in Forza, so yeah, more power, Tony. Hang on.
Right.
Just in case anyone wanted to hear the keyboard.
I can't actually hear your keyboard. I think Discord is filtering it out a bit.
Oh, good.
So, all right, cool. Thanks, PC. You played more Forza than anyone else here at the moment, I think. So it's good to hear that you're enjoying it. So we can all look forward to it on Game Pass. We can trade paint and get some penalty points.
Yeah, look forward to that.
Yeah.
Laters.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you in a little bit.
Cheers, bye.
With that, Pete, you'll still hear me in Discord because I'm going to let you see yourself out. I'm too lazy to click the buttons. But you are off of the stream. So, Peter has aggressively thrown down the gauntlet and challenged you all to try and race him because he is half a second off of a good competitive time, and none of you have got shit on him. So, that's what I got from that conversation. Look forward to it. Not this Sunday because it comes out, I think, early next week for us plebeians. Speaking of, how are we all feeling about paying a little bit for early access to games as a rule? I'm not on top chat. I'm going to come back to some things. I saw Dave Mack said something about Sea of Thieves. Chicken Eye 210. I've never seen that name, but welcome along. Dion has given it a little wavy hand. I see these people and I'm very grateful to all of you. In fact, let me loop back to that Sea of Thieves question. Dave Mack, I played Sea of Thieves when it came out. I played it quite a bit when it came out. I liked it, but I hope to see it evolve in a different direction to the one that it did. There were certain things that I wanted them to change in terms of, most notably, the value of your ship and life. Because the Sea of Thieves kind of meta was that you either played properly and had lots of treasure and stuff, or you had nothing to lose and you just bombarded everyone with suicide tactics. And it all got a little bit silly. So I wanted them to make your boat matter a bit more, your reputation, your life matter a bit more, so that it wasn't just keep throwing yourself at a wall until you win. They didn't evolve it in that direction. They did evolve it in some other interesting directions, but I haven't played it for quite a long time. Are any of you, especially you, Dave Mack, because you asked, are any of you current Sea of Thieves players or have much of a history with it? And then back to the little topic I was just touching on a little bit. So do answer the Sea of Thieves thing, but I'm going off on the other tangent at the same time. So early access, Forza Motorsport is I think 5 days early access, and you get a deluxe pack. Peter said he got a fancy costume. He gets to wear some shiny shoes and a different helmet maybe. You get some cars over time. And you pay $30 for that early access. Obviously they did the same thing with Starfield, and the Starfield one was very successful and people loved it. Lots and lots of people bought early access for Starfield, and it included the DLC, so the expansion that's coming out, Shattered Space or whatever it was called, I don't know, Shimmering Isle, one of those kind of things, the DLC that comes out in a year or whenever it may be. They did the same thing with Forza Horizon 5 last year. And I remember because immediately around the launch of that game, I guested on RDX, so Dealer's Real Deal Xbox podcast. And I said then that I wasn't a massive fan of that particular practice of the undermining the day one on Game Pass concept with a certain amount early access payment. It's not the worst thing in the world, especially when they throw in some content to kind of justify the value that you're spending. But it is a weird situation to say it's day one on Game Pass, or you can pay half the value of the game to get it 5 days earlier. What do we all think of that? Does anyone care? Is it good, sensible practice? Are we immune to FOMO anyway, so it doesn't matter? It definitely works. You're not wrong there, Replicant. But rather than... is that a good thing, though? Tom, you're not keen on early access payments, so you did it with Street Fighter, so kind of a shocker. I did it for Starfield, but I did do it for Starfield because I figured the value of the DLC will take up most of that amount. Doesn't it usually include the season pass? So I think it includes the season pass on Forza. It was a similar deal for Forza Horizon. Starfield included the DLC, so you do normally get some other value besides the early access. But at the same time, their headline marketing for Game Pass was that you can play things day one on Game Pass, which isn't true, really, if they let other people play it on day -5. I'm not massively upset by that. I think Game Pass would still be like really good value if they said you can play it day 200 on Game Pass. It would still be sensible. So I'm not like throwing my toys out the pram about these 5 days. But I'm curious about people's thoughts on the messaging and all the rest of it. Call you a boomer, but you still don't really get what a season pass is. Yeah, they don't follow actual seasons. It's just a way that they package up content, really. It's a way that they, I guess really it just acts as like making a window of content finite. So if you get a season pass for a game like Forza, rather than saying you've paid all access and you can have all the content forever, they say you've bought a season pass, and then at the end of that season they can say, well, that was last season. Now you have to pay for the next season if we decide to keep making content. So rebranding for a DLC pass lets you know that it's not forever. They can drive engagement, they can drive money, they're obviously part of the whole games as a service, money over time, content over time, delivery vehicle, which is not inherently bad. Sometimes you get a game and you want them to keep making content. Season passes are a reasonable way to support that. Get skins and a few things, even then you have to earn them. Tom's the man, says Baz. Alex S, play Assassin's Creed Mirage. No, I won't. You can't make me. I don't like stealth games. So the reason that I never played any of the Assassin's Creed series is that it started off as a stealth series, and I never felt that I could pick it up on like the 5th iteration of it or whatever. So now when they get Assassin's Creed Mirage and they go, oh, we've gone back to basics, it's a stealth game again. No, that's not the time for me to pick up the series. I do have Ubisoft Plus. I could play that game on PC or Xbox right now while I'm talking to you, but that series is not for me, even if I would love it. It's one of them things. Maybe I should, if I were to try it, I'd probably try the trilogy of action ones. So Origins and Odyssey and Valhalla would be more appealing. Alex, it's because people bought Starfield early access, now they're applying the same strategy to other Game Pass titles. I think Forza Horizon 5's early access might have been almost as popular as Starfield. I think Starfield did 2 million actually, and Forza Horizon maybe did 1 million. I think the strategy was well established for their big games before now. Did I not like or play Dishonored? I've not played Dishonored properly. I've been told, so many people when I talk stealth have recommended Dishonored because you don't have to stealth in that game, do you? You can just blast and magic through. So I should play Dishonored, but I haven't yet. Don't what the fuck me. There's a lot of games to play. Replicant, Assassin's Creed is probably your favorite long-term franchise, and you're very wise to call it Ass Creed instead of AC. Because I would go the Assetto Corsa route again. Asheron's cool, Ace Combat, Animal Crossing. Derail things thoroughly. Peter's left Discord now. Peter, thanks for coming onto Discord and talking about Forza. It is much appreciated. Because it's fun. I didn't have much to say about it, so you covered me there well. Dishonored is such a good game, and Dishonored 2 as well. Which one's better, 1 or 2? And you're probably, I'm assuming, really looking forward to Dishonored 3 now that that's leaked as well. Fun. Baz, it's just news, not your fault. PlayStation fans are not getting Crunchyroll instead. Yeah, you talking about the PlayStation Premium Movies thing. We'll get onto that in a bit. Arse crack is not a real one, Tom. I googled it. First one is the best. First Dishonored. I'll add it to the list. I've also played. This one surprised me a lot. Peep. What else have I already played? What did we play in the multiplayer Sunday this week? Oh, we played Among Us. That didn't work very well. Among Us is probably a really entertaining game, but we played it with 4 or 5 people, and it wasn't enough. And I was stream sniped, which was outrageous. Do I like your thumbnail? I do. It's a nice thumbnail. It has Immortals of Aveum on it, which I've also played this week. I'll talk about that in a minute too. Kind of slightly, not really, but slightly related to the Forza early access and DLC and stuff like that. You keep missing the Sunday streams. Yes, your absence has been noted. I keep a register. There are not many people that have been like consistently showing up. The register is bare and kind of wet. But the Sunday streams are good fun. So if you are around on a Sunday evening, this goes to everyone that's here because it's all the good people here. Come and play some games with us. I don't know what we're going to play this week because I haven't thought about it yet. I'm sure it'll be brilliant fun. So, Immortals of Aveum, the game that I pushed myself through for the sake of reviewing it. For those that don't know, my master plan is to start doing reviews on the channel now. I pushed myself through Immortals of Aveum. If you saw me stream the first hour or 2 of it, I was unimpressed. Because it does not put its best foot forwards. But now that I've finished it, I really like that game. Really like that game. Which isn't to say that there are no flaws. It's one of those things where you get a game that gets a mediocre score and end up really liking it. This one is in that space for me. Everyone subbed to my channel is required to download Overwatch 2. Tony's on a recruiting drive, which I absolutely told him to do. This Sunday could have some Overwatch if Tony can get enough people for a team. Hello, the problem is you don't know what the news is until you watch the show, so you make the thumbnail on very little information because I give you very little information. That's true. So Immortals of Aveum is as single player story games go for this like generation, if you want to look in the console space, it's somewhere above God of War Ragnarok for me as a more fun story. It surprised me with its competency in storytelling and acting and pacing and all of these kind of things. However, it is pretty rough on the consoles. And obviously when I put my review together, I'll go into all kinds of detail about that game. But the reason that I wanted to talk about it more so is one thing that occurred while I was playing it. I said at the start while I was streaming, and I said on this show when I was giving some feedback on it, that it has to be judged as a £70 game because that's what they're selling it for. Funnily enough, I found out the other day they're not selling it for 70 on the PC. On the PC it's 50 quid. And on the consoles it's 70 quid, which is a real throw it out there to die kind of price. And that's a big shame. But it's nice to see that a game that's self-contained in the way that this one is, so like quality or otherwise, a game that's aiming high, telling a self-contained single-player campaign, exists on the market, does a really good job in certain ways, but is not received well enough to sustain the studio that made it. So, Ascendant Studios, it was their first game, their first stab at AAA. They worked with EA Originals, or whatever they call it, EA Origins maybe, as a partner to get it published. Didn't do well enough and they had to let half the studio go. And that sucks, because it's so good in some ways that they really deserved a chance to make another game. So it just makes me wonder, like, it's a real like evidence point of the strains on AAA development, the strains from spiraling budgets and costs and all the rest of it, versus a market that can't support the amount of games coming out, an ecosystem that can't support like traditional styled games where it's a game that's not full of microtransactions and services and season passes and all of those kind of things. I should do walkthroughs. No, I can't do walkthroughs. Can't do walkthroughs. It's hard enough to keep like any coherent thought for more than 4 seconds in my head. Reviews, I'm gonna do reviews. You'll see. There'll be good reviews. Stumble throughs. Blah. That's fair and hurts a little bit. Gonna recoup the hardware somewhere. Wait a minute. Console is nearly always a 20 money hike. No, yeah, but it shouldn't be, Peter. It shouldn't be. So the consoles, both PlayStation and Xbox, it's a 30% cut that they take for selling things on their store. There's some that's not strictly true. There's obviously really big games and really big publishers negotiate different rates, but the standard that people are broadly aware of is that they take a 30% cut, which is the same cut that Steam take. How many views and everything else do I have? I don't know, like 3? Not many. I don't know what I was saying. What was I in the middle of? Oh, the 30% cut. So the price, the reason that consoles normally give for selling at these ridiculous prices is to stay in line with physical retailers, where they have distribution costs, where they have to make the discs and the boxes and send them out and all the rest of it. But that's ancient and crusty and shouldn't apply, and the game shouldn't be 20 quid more on a console than it is on a PC when the royalties and fees are not so different now. Certification process is a bit different, sure. But I'm talking about Steam, it's 50 quid. PlayStation and Xbox digital stores, it's 70. That's not right, and it was such a perception difference for me. Like, I'm not going to buy many games for 70 quid. They have to be real special to be worthwhile, and I think that bears out as a common line of thinking when you consider that this game essentially flopped. 70 quid's too much. And I say that as someone who would pay more than 70 quid. Like, the value, the whole conversation is really, really complicated. The balance of like what a game is worth and what is a fair price and what they should be charging. It's just that when you look at the marketplace and you look at the fact that this game came out amongst Baldur's Gate 3, which was 50 quid, and Starfield, which was probably 70, but was Starfield. Just can't have that many all at once. So is Game Pass the answer, or is it going to exacerbate the problem? Are subscription services and alternate methods for consuming games going to better support things like Immortals of Aveum, or are they going to make them even more a dying breed? I don't know. Last time when we played Among Us on Sunday, who had the best costume? Me, I had the best costume. I was an angry sheep guy. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying me because I'm a bit of a prick. Baz, the only news that you've seen this week is Spider-Man spoilers. Yeah, I have not seen anything of Spider-Man spoilers. We do have a no spoiler rule here, obviously, especially for games that aren't out yet, but also for games that came out 20 years ago. I talk around spoilers because they suck. PC, you're a reluctant PC player, which is silly as you've got a reasonable one and an X. You played Starfield on both and you do intend to play Forza Motorsport on both. You still just like playing on console. So what have you been playing Forza Motorsport on so far? And which performance, assuming you're all going to say console, which performance profile have you chosen? Tony, your birthday suit was the best costume. That one's actually not in Among Us. It was a sheep. I get that you saw it and thought, wow, that's me in my birthday suit. But no, it was an angry sheep costume. Well, yeah, Tony, if anybody wants to spoil the ending of the Atari ET game, I'll accept that because I don't think I've got any other way to access and play it. But the Xbox recommended 4K 60 with no ray tracing, yeah. And is that, so that's what you're going for at the moment. Have you tried the other profiles? You need a shovel. Oh, to get to ET, yes, I need shovel and coordinates somewhere in the Nevada desert. So maybe shovel, coordinates, and a big bottle of water. That's turning into a PC Master Race peasant. It's an interesting story to watch unfold because he has made a very distinct console fan base. We will see if they still accept him after he turns. Bloody interruptions. Okay, are we done? We're getting there. We're nearly at the end of the show. So, let's break into the Atari ET mass grave. They can't stop all of us. Yes, we can all Naruto run across the desert. We will organise it, get the date out on Twitter. We are nearly done. Did anyone finish the ET game? Tony, I don't actually know if it... I don't know the full story of it as to whether it actually made it to retail and some people got it in their hands. I know they made way too many. Reference? No, I made that up on the spot. Yes, I got the reference. So it's a short show today, Baz. I've got to get back to my reviewing career, which hasn't started yet. Also, so there was Forza Motorsport as a topic, a little bit of Immortals of Aveum, and generally concept of a price. Is anyone interested in playing that game, by the way? Off the back of me saying I really liked it. I did not like the first 2 or 3 hours, but by the end of the game I really liked it. Who had no credit? Am I playing a game today? No, Alex. Thursdays is just this little talky show thing. No games today. You're about halfway through it. Oh, keep going, Replicant. It's good, honestly. I was impressed by the way it comes together. Way too much like lore drops and boring tomes, but Thursday's your favorite day. Okay. Why? What's the question? What's the question? Why what? Thank you, Replicant, for having me say that. What did I say? Oh no, what's Tony done to me? What have I said? Bath night, more like. No, I'm too tall for baths. Too tall. And no, I will, like I say, I've finished Immortals of Aveum. I've got, like, at least 20 hours of footage of it. Got most of the structure of what I want to say about it in place. I just need to sort it out and turn it into a review. You missed my birthday bash stream. Will I play Disney Speedstorm anytime soon? Alex, I can only say that I've got it installed. So Disney's Speedstorm multiplayer thing would be a Sunday game, but what I play on a Sunday does depend on who's there and what they've got installed ready to go. Tony is currently recruiting for Overwatch 2. You are welcome to recruit for Disney Speedstorm. I have it ready. That's as much as I can say. How's it going, Abdul? And what's Peter going to enjoy? Oh, I see, because Thursday's your favourite day because you've got no work until Tuesday. Is that your regular? I know you work 3 days a week, don't you? So, cool. What else is there as a topic? So, Sony have, and Tony was touching on this earlier, Sony have announced that they are bringing some of their Sony Pictures content to PlayStation Plus Premium, and maybe, was it just the Premium tier, or was it the, what is the middle tier called? Extra. And they're bringing the stuff to PlayStation, but they're bringing, I think, 100 movies into that service. Coincidentally, not coincidentally, a couple of weeks after they cut the discounted rate for annual subscribers. So they sort of raised the price of PlayStation Plus, and then they added a load of movies into it. Does anyone care about watching movies on their PlayStation? There's always been lots of talk and rumors that Sony would exploit the overlap between games and anime, because Sony own all of the anime stuff, Crunchyroll and Toei and all of that lot. That Sony would leverage that and put some anime content into their subscription service or into a new tier of their service. And they probably still will, but movies have come first. Replicant, 0 interest. Me, 0 interest. Everybody else, 0 interest. Can they give me a version of the subscription that doesn't include movies? Because I'll take the discount instead. And that's not to say I don't like movies, but I'm never firing up the PlayStation to watch a movie. Earlier, you used to watch illegal stream sites on your PlayStation 3. The reason would be because most of the malware contained within those illegal stream sites would not affect a PlayStation 3. So you could more safely watch from there. Not that the PlayStation 3 had like a really safe browser or anything. So if any of those websites had chosen to target you, you'd be dead by now. That's how severe the malware would have got. Replicant, you're watching how their 12 service games work out. Everybody is curious to see if they all fail or if one or two of them do well. Service games are still, like, as a roll of the dice and a gamble to see what you can get, they are still the antithesis of Game Pass. Game Pass gives you a service that includes loads and loads and loads of games, but if you can nail one game that does well, then you've got something way more valuable. If you can have a Fortnite or something like that, then you don't need to put 500 games into a service because your one game is operating on the same kind of level. Did I see Dutch's video? You felt really sorry for the poor soul battling with mental health problems. I've not. I saw the thumbnail and saved it in mind to watch later, but I haven't seen it. And yes, so Dutch is, I'm not sure what the details of the video are, so I don't want to speak on what he's going through, but he's obviously going through something. He was and is very prolific as a content creator. They're doing stuff all of the time. So yeah, hopefully he'll pull through it and get back to it soon. I played Gotham Knights on Game Pass. So the background that I've got here is Gotham Knights, which I recorded from around the period when it came out. I can't remember what platform I own it on. It's definitely on PC, but I can't remember if I got it on like the Windows Store or Steam or why I got it. But I already have Gotham Knights. Will I play it now that it's on Game Pass? Maybe, but not soon. I quite fancy playing the Avengers before playing Gotham Knights. Now that the Avengers has gone away forever, that's the right time to play it. AJH, today's Windows OS virus defender is that good it's unlikely to ever get a virus from the sites anymore anyway. Yes, AJH, but today is not when the PlayStation 3 was out. So back when Isla's referring to, when she was looking at these in the olden days, it would have been a valid way to avoid malware, not use Windows. Your Coke tastes like soap. That's because that is the soap. What you need is some delicious sweet red wine, like I have. Okay, so that was the Sony topic over nice and quickly. That's all I've got topics for today. So it's up to you lot to throw some topics at the show, or it's going to be a real early finish today. Which isn't a threat, by the way. I'm not like being all bitter. I just don't have a whole lot. I very nearly didn't do the show today. I thought, skip this one. There's not a lot going on. I'll skip it. But then I thought, no, I can't do that. You're all so good to me. I can't not turn up altogether. But make it a short one. Minecraft mob vote. Have they announced the 3 mobs now, Isla? I saw that they were doing the mob vote again, and I saw a picture that they sent that was some nonsense. It's been a quiet week for news. There's going to be more quiet weeks for news though. October's going to pass. There's a bunch of games in October, but once like Spider-Man and Alan Wake 2 and all that are out, there'll be Call of Duty in November, but who cares about Call of Duty? And then everything goes quiet for December. And it doesn't mean the shows are going to stop, it just means we have to play more games to talk about more games. Next week, ABK is done, and there will be nothing anyone can say about it because everyone has spent the last 2 years talking about every possibility. But at least it'll be there and we can, I don't know, that'll be that. You saw on Twitter that someone built a Greg's in Minecraft. Of course they did. Of course they did. Alex, you've been playing a lot of the Cyberpunk DLC. Now they just released the 2.0.1 update. Will I play it? I'm definitely going to play Cyberpunk. AJH, a lot were complaining about terrible performance of Gotham Knights on PC. You booted it up, maxed out everything, 4K, even ray tracing on an AMD GPU, and it ran smooth as butter. Problem is it's shit, yeah. So when it came out, it definitely had performance problems on the PC. They felt almost random. It was all related to the ray tracing as far as I can remember. But when very little was going on whatsoever, if you were just traversing a little bit, frame rate would tank down from like 120 to 12 for a few seconds and then go back again. So Isla's got the Minecraft mobs. It says Armadillo is 100% going to win because its drops can be used to craft wolf armor. Everyone will want wolf armor. Nothing else matters. What are the alternatives? Or did you mention them up above and I missed it? Oh, crab, armadillo, penguin. Penguin's going to win. and I'm going to vote crab. What's, like, why hasn't Minecraft already got penguins? Why have you got to vote between 3 basic ass monsters that will take like 2 minutes to implement each? Minecraft is stingy and terrible to you. Well, we play Payday 3. I've got Payday 3 installed. That's an option. I have it installed on the PC Game Pass version, which I think that one is crossplay with Xbox. I don't know if it's crossplay with the other platforms. Party Animals is wank, but we can still play it if you want to. Ironic that Lamplighters has terrible performance. I caught a bit of ACG's review of it. Mentioned, he seems to really like the game, but has big issues with the camera, taking you out of all of the fun bits. So it's a tactics game that gives you cinematic cameras for all of the special moves, but usually the cinematic camera parks itself behind a pillar. Because if we vote on something more major, we will all kill each other. But we vote. Oh, I see. That's why you have to vote on mobs. Nah, they're not good to you. Cyberpunk 27 sequel is on a conceptual design level right now. It says CD Projekt Red. I'm excited. So CD Projekt Red are working on another Witcher game. They've got an external studio doing a Witcher remaster and another one doing a multiplayer Witcher project. They've got a new IP that they're working on as well, which I can't remember what the project name was. Project something beginning with H, in a different universe. And they've got the follow-up to Cyberpunk. They're a busy studio, and I will be excited to see what they make in all cases. But definitely a shame that they've left the Red engine behind. Every year this mob fight causes all-out war. No, it doesn't. I've never even heard a simmering murmur of a complaint or passionate anything about it. Because, like, it's Minecraft and people that are voting aren't old enough to use the internet. Yeah, sorry, I'm mean. You wish that more would take the Baldur's Gate 3 and Wasteland 3 with isometric RPGs with story paths and so on. Yeah. It's not true. You told me that you were mad. Yeah, I'm sure people vote. I'm sure there's a whole big YouTube thing, and I know it's caused. So I was just trolling. Calm yourself down. You're allowed to enjoy Minecraft. Quite a few people enjoy Minecraft, I hear. Diablo 4 Season of the Blood detailed includes quality of life updates, blood harvest event, and vampiric powers. Does anyone still play Diablo 4? I'm still at the start of Act 2 and fell right off of the game, but also I've not heard a single person mention the game since like a couple of weeks after it came out. It seemed to just fall off of a cliff in terms of interest. Because it had a big release and it made big waves and everyone was interested, and then suddenly they weren't anymore. But it could be like Minecraft, it could be that I'm just not seeing it, and maybe people are passionately arguing over, I don't know what kind of votes you have for Diablo. But maybe there is a whole massive community out there that cares a lot. I do still have... Oh, do I still have Diablo installed, or is that on the drive that fell apart? I do still intend to go back to Diablo at some point. They're also supposed to, they promised they'd bring ray tracing into the PC version, so that's probably the prompt that will get me to go and have another look at it, just to see what they do with that. Throw some magic around and go, ooh. Lamplighters I would like to play though. Should play WoW on Sunday. No, Replicant. World of Warcraft takes frickin' ages. Sundays need to be like quick-fire games that people can just jump in and play. Yeah, I know I said that, Isla. I'm not gonna do either of those things. I'm not gonna make the engine noises, and I'm not gonna be here for 3 hours. Peter, you really wanted to love Minecraft, but you don't. Must be you, as so many people do. When did you try it? It's a weird property, Minecraft. It's obviously a behemoth, like, massive game. Why did I write it? Same reason I tell all of my lies. To keep myself amused. Several times you tried it. It's your favourite game ever. It's still always surprising to see that it sells well every year. It tops all the monetization charts every year. It's still like hoovering up new audiences. You have to set your own goals. Yes. You don't get Minecraft. So I get Minecraft. It's kind of like a significant pioneer in the little survival genre, if nothing else. I don't think the survival elements are what have made it as big as it is. It's obviously like built its reputation on creative freedom. But it did also kind of pioneer a lot of things that survival games do. But it's not. Sounds too much like real life, yeah. You're making a spooky Halloween village in a swamp. I am not going to do that. I can't make things. Painting a car on Forza is too complicated for me. Building anything else? No. You're pretending that you're going to do it. You'll probably just flatten all the land and then move on to a new idea. It also does have, so in terms of its popularity, I don't know if Minecraft's like continuing engagement is because people are still engaging with the base game, or if they're all over the mods, or if they're playing the little like mini games that it has. I don't know what elements of Minecraft keep it relevant. Warhammer Darktide is an option for a Sunday game. Yeah. Yeah, it is. That's a quick blast through shooting some stuff. In fact, that's a good point, Replicant. I'll try and get that one installed for this Sunday. And Peter, there is elsewhere on this channel our previous birthday had a big Minecraft stream. I think 2 of them were on this channel. There's Minecraft footage. You can see the ray traced version of stuff that Isla built. She built like a massive little adventure world that we went through. So if you want to see stuff that was built, yeah, there's Isla's birthday stream. She set up her own birthday party and we went adventuring. Is Darktide on Xbox yet? Yes, it is, Tom. It also... So Darktide, when it launched and came out on PC, it was a bit of a mess, but they said that they were changing and revamping loads of stuff around it, which I think coincides with the Xbox release. So hopefully the version that is out now on Xbox and PC is better than that game was when it launched. But where is the ray trace version? You can't find it anywhere. So it's based. It's a little bit complicated, Peter. If you get the Bedrock edition, like the baseline Windows version, and you have an NVIDIA RTX card, I actually can't remember the steps to enable it. I think it might have just been built in and you just have to tick the box. But then if you want to make it pretty, you then have to go and get some resource packs and download some fancy shit. Replicant, it is much better now, is it? Okay, good. I did have I could use that background actually. I had a Warhammer Darktide background from when that came out. Haven't played it any though. It was literally the background was the sewer that you start the game in. Yeah, AMD you won't be able to, I'm afraid, Peter. You won't be able to, as far as I know. Definitely came out as a NVIDIA like tech demo kind of project. No one's identified the OST today. That's acceptable. When I play Star Trek Infinity on stream, no. On Steam, no. I'm not a Star Trek person. There's too much Star Trek content in the world for me to keep up with it. Sent you the VOD for one. So yeah, I was wondering if one of them would have been on Twitch instead. Which means it's long gone from there now. I was thinking maybe eventually, not now, not soon, don't worry, but once this channel is more established with videos and things, I might move the live streaming content over to a different one, like the game content. because there's a lot of it and it's might be better suited to my uncensored channel. But we'll see. That's future plans. So I've got many reviews to do before that day. I'm going to get this Immortals of Aveum one done. It's going to be a really difficult. It's difficult because I want to get a certain number of reviews out to set like a baseline to just establish how my reviews kind of work. Hope's deleted. Of course we'll play Minecraft again at some point. You also need to go on a recruitment drive to convince other people that they want to play, and then we can Minecraft on a Sunday. But it is not my game, much like Forza isn't my game. So other people have to do the recruiting for those ones. It definitely is replicant. It still is, always was. My reviews, text, video only, or both. I'm just going to do video, I think. I could stick the text somewhere. I could stick the text obviously on Game On Daily if I was going to. But it would essentially just be like a transcription of the video. Video is going to be fairly in-depth, I hope. Survival or Bed Wars or something. Presumably Bed Wars is one of the mini games, and I would think that kind of thing would work better as a drop-in, drop-out. But I don't know, it depends what you can convince other people is fun. Can you write your yearly mob vote article? Of course you can. You might want to take a backup of it as well, though. What else? So, review question. So, for Immortals of Aveum that I'm reviewing at the moment, it's got wildly different performance profiles and issues between the console version and the PC version. If you were consuming reviews because you were interested in that game, how would you want that little detail to be handled? Am I playing Spider-Man 2? And what my thoughts on the whole 15 hours for $70 is too short. Alex, I am not sure I can get Spider-Man 2 as soon as it comes out. I hope so. It's one of my most anticipated games because I very, very, very much liked Spider-Man 2018 and Miles Morales. And I'm sure Spider-Man 2 is going to be a top game as well. $70 is still difficult to swallow. I say this because these are mainstream games. If you were to tell me that there was a really high quality virtual reality game, then I'd say, yeah, 70 is like cheap. I'll pay way more for a good game. If the audience was smaller, then it would feel more normal to pay loads, but 70 is a big leap. Saying that, I really like games, so of course I'm going to get it. In terms of the 15 hours for 70, it's not a big conversation point for me. Like, Spider-Man's not going to be tiny. I had heard it was, so 15 hours is what, to bomb through the campaign or whatever. I don't know, if it turns out to be excellent, then that's more important than the number of hours. I don't know, there's probably like a minimum limit where you hit a point where the amount of content is like, you're taking the piss, aren't you? Like, you play a game that's 4 hours or something and it costs 70 quid, 6 hours, I don't know. I don't know what that bottom point is. Where you go, like, no, you've not given me enough content here. This price is silly. For me, 15 hours isn't below the, like, kind of bottom point for a top priced game. But I can understand other people having a different kind of line on that one. This is the background of New York. Today's background is Gotham. From the game Gotham Knights. Is the question more, should you review multiple formats? Well, that's part of it, Pete. I mean, multiple formats would be difficult to do because time. Like, for example, Immortals of Aveum, I've played a little bit on the Xbox because I tried to exploit the play within 2 hours and get a refund option on the Xbox. But to really get into the performance profile of that game, Immortals of Aveum doesn't start very well, and the opening areas aren't very nice. But as you get deeper into the game, it gets more and more impressive. So really, to do a fair review of the Xbox version, I'd have to basically play the entirety of the game again. Reviews are terrible, terrible value in terms of like time you have to invest to put one of these videos together. So they're never going to be a sensible way for me to do videos on my channel. Immortals of Aveum is quite a short game. I've probably played that like, I could look at the time, but I'm going to say between 15 and 20 hours to get through the campaign. Which means before recording and editing a video, I've put 20 hours into this video. It's never going to be an efficient format for content. With Immortals, you stick to the PC version. I want to at least reference the console version though. I think normally with reviews, I would favour doing the console version because the console version is representative for more people. PC version, I can do a review of the PC version, but other people's PCs are not my PC. Whereas with the console, you've got that consistency. Well, you got an iPhone and a PlayStation 4. Fair enough. Well, I'm going to touch both of them on this particular review, but it's like, it just made me think, what's the best way to handle that in terms of any like scoring and such? Oh, see a little bit of my screen there, don't want. Oh well, it's fine. Holding a monster eyeball of a glass. Nope, just a glass. Changing something. Filters. Yeah, it'll do. So, when is Halloween? It's at the end of the month. 31st of October is a Tuesday, I think Isla said before. So, was there anything else, or are we getting to the questions now? Yes, Tuesday the 31st of October is Halloween. Previous years, I did some good costumes. I did some good stupid costume bullshit. They fell on Go Live. We did Halloween Go Lives, except I was the only one that did, so I'm not doing it this year. Back when you worked for Microprose, PC games were 30 to 40 monies. You produced games that had, for the time, real length. Our rule for value was 1 money per hour. See, that doesn't work for me anymore. Like a price per hour kind of format. Because that would make something like Rocket League phenomenal. You could sell it for infinite. But I don't think it's like a healthy development approach anymore to shoot for length. Because that usually comes at the detriment of quality. I'm quite happy for a game like... what's a good example of a game that's got too much padding? Loads of them. I don't need a game to have collectibles and all of that kind of stuff to try and pad the length out and keep me playing. I don't need it to have like fetch quests in the middle to like give you more to do at the detriment of the pacing of the story. So it's a delicate line. I'd like to think it's better to completely disconnect length of play from value. I just think that there is like at the extremes you could hit problems there. I just don't know what that extreme is. You might drive a Tesla? No, I don't. Is it a good investment? Electric cars are really nice to drive. Big fan of electric cars. I've never driven a Tesla, but we did used to have an electric car that was very nice to drive. When you barbecue, what's your favorite food? All of them. I don't have fancy barbecue. It's just like burgers and sausages, simple stuff. So, but I'd much rather have a fancy barbecue. There's a sleepy kitty, or no, I'm not going to say that. Replicant, you had Helicopter Simulator from Microprose. Yeah, but did you play the original XCOM? That's the question. No, I was going to say that you were nominating your favorite food for the barbecue, but I thought that would be a bit cruel. I don't want you to think of barbecuing your cat, so I refrained from saying it. And that's why. So, that's it. That's the end. On that note, let's do the questions that have come in. Yeah, this is not my fault. I tried my best to avoid that scenario. Tony has asked, what do you get out of gaming? Why do you game? There's a question for everyone. What's the answer to that? I see lots of people, you always see this over and over again, that the point of gaming is fun. And that's only a partial truth for me. When I started it, I'm sure that the fun was a big part of the experience, but also curiosity, because as a medium, it's fascinating and always has been. And now, as gaming has evolved, and it has evolved a lot since I started, there's the potential for it to be so much more than fun. And that's not to say that fun is not like a good aspiration for a game. But as a medium, it can deliver on everything that films and books can do, but better. So I guess it is just the art form that scratches the right itch for me. I'm technically fascinated and just enjoy it. So, as you game because your life is so dull. That's also a good answer. Saying gaming is for fun can trivialize how important it is. It can trivialize the potential of the medium, I think. Because it's just like there's no beats that it can't hit that other media can. There's not too many examples at the moment of games that have like shot in a different direction to fun, but it can do it. Will I ever play Marvel's Midnight Suns? I like that game. I played only the 2-hour trial, so the PlayStation Plus had a 2-hour trial for Marvel's Midnight Suns. That is a good game, but I don't own it, so I played through the trial. That was as far as I got. You will never understand people who don't game. What the fuck else do you do with your time? That is a good question. It's another reason. Peter, it was part of your life. You spent 20 years making games. You can't drop them. It's wild that I've never got into that one. It's like a lifelong regret that I steered away from making games. What I should have done, but there we go. None of your friends play games and you don't get it. Yeah, I know some people that don't. Very strange, very strange. Don't know what they do in its stead, but it's not too late. It is too late. Next question, please. Although everybody else is welcome to keep throwing your answers out there, because for a Tony question, that one was almost profound. Not even like a hint of a reference to nipples. Fun is a subjective word. Bloodborne is fun to some, but it's bleak as fuck and kind of sadistic gameplay wise. Yes. Yes, it is. I'm making up for it now. I'm not sure that I am, Peter. I'm not sure that I am. Tony asked, Target store is leaving San Francisco and New York areas because people are stealing away too much from the world news. Well, that is a perfectly reasonable, valid reason to leave if your business is dysfunctional because people just keep stealing. Not Target. Alex, you game to reduce daily stress? Yep. What if the game is really stressful? Can games induce stress in you? I don't have anything to say on Tony's Target store one. We don't really have Target over here. Is Target like a general store or is it a technology store? Tony again. Tony, you gotta let other people have a chance. No, I'm joking. You can put as many as you want, Tony. What is Peter real name? You heard it was called Mr. Fingerman in the 90s in the arcade scene. You believe there's a Netflix special with Peter's secret life. Peter, you're going to have to take that one. I can't answer it. When we asked, he did say he takes Peter, Pete, Pedro, Pierre. Many different aliases. Forza looks amazing. Does it? Where have you been looking? Have you been playing it, God Emperor Sofa King? Are you an early access Forza player? Or have you been watching the videos? You're playing it early access. So what are you playing on the Xbox? And which profile performance mode are you using? And so we had Peter Morland's playing it at the moment as well. Enjoying it. I'm playing it on PC. Fair enough, fair enough. I heard it does look quite pretty there. I will give it a go on PC after it's hit the Game Pass, but again, I'll mostly be giving it a go for the sake of playing it with you lot. Never knowingly been called Mr. Finger. Wow. Mr. Fingerman. Yeah, no, I heard that. There were stories going around about you, Peter. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what Tony's talking about. I'm just trying to roll with it. Let's do the next one. Right. Isla asked, do you know race car is a palindrome? Do you know my name is a palindrome? So, yeah, that's what I've got to say on that. Everyone gets lucky on occasions, Tony. He did not just learn that. Come on now. It's like the shortest palindrome. Right. Hello there, Asa. I'm sorry I almost missed your Q&A stream. That's absolutely fine. You don't need to be sorry. Nobody needs to be sorry. Nobody needs to be here, but I'm glad that you are. Call of Duty is stressful, but you like that you're mostly on top of the list. The satisfaction of winning is worth it. I would beat you for sure. Never played Call of Duty, really. I can't Call of Duty. I can't discern friend from foe quickly enough. I'm dead before I recognize who I'm supposed to kill. Tony. Tony is doing a giveaway. A weekend with Tony and VR full body massage. Enter this contest by spamming Apple Vision. It's greater than Meta Quest 3. Tony, you're getting a Meta Quest 3. What are you even talking about? The rest of it was all true. I am offering that free weekend VR body massage thing. Yeah. Tony says, Alex, download Overwatch 2. Has anybody responded positively to you yet, Tony, besides me? I have promised that I will download Overwatch 2 for you. You don't want a massage, don't worry. You don't have to enter this competition. Nobody is supposed to be entering this competition. This is like, welcome to Tony. He just says things. No one answered you. How heavy is it? What, Overwatch? How big is Overwatch, Tony? Next question, please. Where are we? Nearly 10:30. Ooh, that's longer than the hour that I was aiming for. But not bad. Hour and a half is like how long it's supposed to run. Do you use a full keyboard with the numpad on the side? If you do, why? I use a full... I would show you, but it's filthy and embarrassing. Yes, I've got the num keys on the side. No, I never, ever touch them. The only time that I did touch them was before I had a Stream Deck. I used the num keys to control stream shortcuts. Besides that, a smaller keyboard would suit me better. It would give me more space to throw the mouse around. I also am a little strange in keyboards in that I'm not a massive fan of mechanical keyboards. Most people swear by mechanical keyboards, but I hate the clicking noise. Give me a silent mechanical keyboard and I'm there for it, but give me a clicky clacky bastard keyboard. I'd rather have a cheapy shit soft paddy keyboard than that. That's just me though. Peter, you're going to say, even if it is bollocks, having been involved at the start of the game's mid-80s, You tell the missus you were a gaming pioneer. Begins to believe it yourself. No, you were, Peter. Absolutely a gaming pioneer in those days when it was barely an industry. Were you there to witness the crash? I don't really understand the crash, but people reference it quite a lot. From what I understand, quality control was a disaster and shovelware was everywhere, and the industry basically imploded because even if you were making a good game, there was just like swamped by shovelware. And then somehow a phoenix rose from the ashes, and now we can play games on Game Pass. I don't know. Alex, you're getting the MetaQuest 3, just not day one. Good, I want everybody to get VR. One of these Sunday community streams, I'm going to be like, well, all the games are VR now, so you have to come play VR games with me. And it'll be the best. Some keyboards are far too expensive. 120 quid for a keyboard. No, yeah, some keyboards are. And those ones, the 120 quid ones, are the clickiest, noisiest ones too. Invest that much into it and then get it and it's just like click, 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 click. No. The industry was always volatile. Yeah. And yet, huge now. Is it volatile now? You look at all of these studios going and all these redundancies and things, and Immortals of Aveum having to lay off half their staff. It's volatile in that sense. But it's too much money for it to explode again, right? Or implode. Did I read this question? Wait a sec. Oh yeah, I read this one. Oh no, I didn't. Apple Vision greater than MetaQuest 3. You guarantee it will outsell Meta. Tony, are you talking revenue or are you talking units? Because like one MetaQuest 3 is equivalent to like 7 Apple Visions if you're talking revenue. Other way around, 1 Apple Vision is 7 MetaQuest 3s. So revenue it might do that, but in terms of unit sales, nah. Space Denizen, welcome. You got your Quest 3 ordered. That's like 5 days, is it? October 10th it comes out, or am I making that number up? Apple Vision will sell more. It's just a better experience. Apple Vision's a pile of shite. If they were the same price, I wouldn't get the Apple Vision. So, and I'm not saying that I'm everybody, but if it was a choice between a same price, a 500 quid MetaQuest 3 or Apple Vision Pro, I'd get the MetaQuest 3. Because the freaking thing has controllers so you can play games on it. Apple, dickheads. Tony asked, ultra wide greater than a 10,000 hertz monitor. What if the 10,000 hertz monitor was ultra wide, Tony? Oh, it's gonna sell to a snob crowd who get it for prestige, who get it because it costs $3,500. Right, you've been listening to my end credits theme song and you love it. What's the name of my end credit song? I can't remember. I'll find out. Do you remember what it's called, Isla? There is a version of it that doesn't include my name being involved, so I just can't quite remember what it's called. Once you go ultra wide, you can't go back. That's not true, Replicant. I look at all of the ultra wide screenshots and I'm like, why are you missing the top of the screen? Why? Why don't you just have what you're looking at on ultra wide and then build it up a bit taller? Oh, Tony's recruited one to his little crusade. Augmented reality is different to virtual reality. Augmented reality will have a greater reach than virtual reality. Virtual reality is better for games. There's going to be exceptions. There's going to be augmented reality games that are cool as fuck. But virtual reality is being in a game. So, Replicant understands. Lots of people swear by ultra wide. I just don't myself. But if ever I want to experience ultra wide, I will get a blind and just put it on the top third of my TV. Problem solved. Best of both worlds then, innit? Yes. Replicant, you'd rather have a Quest 3 and a pair of those Meta Ray-Bans. I'm really curious about like what those Ray-Bans actually look like in practice. because the footage that they had just looked like a phone ratio screen with some text. If that text is clear and it works well, then those are a neat device on their own. Not like a gaming device, but a neat device anyway. How do you view pictures on your phone, wide or tall, and cut on the sides? My phone's like a square shape, Tony. I can't find it right now, but mine's like a flip phone, so your question is irrelevant because it's almost a square. Nice try, though. You win our long argument on AR being better because you finally found someone on your side. AR includes VR too. It's the bigger experience. AR, so augmented reality and virtual reality are going to converge and be the same technology, but they're not the same thing. Read yours. Ida said it's called Thirst Trap on Tap. Yes, that is the song, Bri, if you were looking for it. Thirst Trap on Tap. Tom, ultra wide fails to take girth into account. Same problem with most of modern society. Good point, Tom. I think that puts you on my side of that little discussion. So yes, good point, Tom. I support what you were saying. Right. Tom has asked, do you think Xbox intend big AAA Game Pass titles to turn into service games? Obviously it is the plan with Forza, but Starfield 2, Fable, so polished, almost full games at launch, but with service potential in mind. Tom, I think if that were the case, it wouldn't be a change. I think that was like the Xbox way when Halo, Gears and Forza were their main IPs. So monetizing, like a tail of monetization has been a Microsoft goal forever, and if anything, Game Pass has allowed them to push the other way a little bit. It's a weird one because speculation is always that because they're not selling these games, they're going to need that tail of money or other ways to monetize their games in general. In practice, what we're seeing at the moment on Game Pass, and it's not necessarily what we'll see forever, but it's kind of allowing them to shift back the other way and actually deliver a single player game that is contained. In like 5-10 years time, I don't know if this will still be true or not, but for the time being, like, because those games are inherently part of a service, they start to make sense again. And small games make sense, like Pentiment suddenly makes sense when it's contributing to a service. So I think it allows them a lot more like breadth and diversity in what kind of games they can deliver. Question is, in their quest to get to like 110 million subscribers by 2030 or whatever, then what does it look like at that point in time? In 2030, do we still get single player games, or does everything need to support mobile and money at that point? I don't know. For now though, it's a positive, I think. For now, I think it allows them more freedom. So whereas Sony are pushing harder towards gas than they ever have, Microsoft can kind of take the foot off the pedal a little bit on that one. Hopefully. Do I have multi-craft? What's multi-craft? Answer is no, because I don't know what it is, but Jizzle, you use Apple Vision Pro developer tool already to come up with something cool. Is it a top secret project that we're not allowed to know what it is yet? So Space Denizen says there's no way that Apple is going to sell more than Meta, but question for you, Space Denizen, do you reckon Quest 3 is going to sell more than Quest 2? I personally don't. I think it's going to be a really good device, but I don't think the price point is going to allow it to outdo its predecessor. Alex, Quest 3, do you need a PC or can you play it without one? You can play it without one. Most of the games will be... So native Quest games is like the biggest VR bubble at the moment, so most of the games will go there. But if you do have a PC, then you can play the big ones, and there are some really good high fidelity PC VR games around. There just aren't too many coming out, but keep an eye on what Valve are doing. Maybe a Quest 3 and a new Steam Deck will be an adequate way to get your PC VR content on. Wait a minute, I've lost some stuff. Tom, you don't see a problem with that as a business model as long as they release good AAA single player games like Starfield at launch. The problem with it as a business model is even a giant Microsoft, if they've got like 50 different studios and they're looking at what games to greenlight, AAA games are expensive and risky even within the Game Pass model. Whereas a cheap mobile game, like if they're looking at it and going, well, a mobile game will make more money, then maybe we'll start to get less of the good stuff. But that's like scary stories for distant future. It might not play out like that at all, but we'll have to wait and see. It's just like Minecraft, but it's a little updated or whatever. Is it updated in a good way? Are you saying that Multicraft is the best game ever and Minecraft sucks now? Space Denizen. Alex, you can play it standalone and with a PC. Oh yeah, you're not limited to one or the other. If you get a Quest 3, by all means, partake of the fruits of the standalone VR and then just connect to your PC when you feel like it if you've got one. All the things are brilliant. And Quest 3, I think it's going to impress people a lot when they put it on their face. Replicant, you wonder if Jimbo Baggins' replacement will push further into building PlayStation services, including Day and Date and PC. Because Day and Date and PC is still, like, I don't think that's on Jim necessarily. I think he's following the data there. There will come a tipping point where it makes sense for them to put stuff on PC. I don't think their new guy is necessarily going to accelerate that. Especially when they look across at Microsoft and say, well, they've got a more powerful console than us, but no one's buying it because they do Day and Date on PC. I think that gives Sony reasonable pause on doing the same. And obviously that's not like the entire reason that the Xbox isn't selling as well as the PlayStation, but those games being exclusive at the point of launch has to be a factor that they consider. And then when they sell those PlayStations, then they can get the FIFA money and the Call of Duty money. So I think that model is working for Sony for the time being, and it'll be a while. I don't think Jimbo's switching of the guard is going to make a big difference in that particular timeline. We'll see though. Tony, I wouldn't ever recommend anybody gets a PC, because then they might come to me with their tech difficulties. Best to steer clear of any recommendations on anything. You don't know what a knobber is. It's just a nice generic insult that you can apply to anyone, really. Lock up knobbers because they are annoying. An answer to my question. I can't remember my question, but I agree with Peter. Lock them all up. Not in the short term, but higher retention. Yeah, that's pretty much my angle on it as well, Space Denizen. But then apparently Meta are going to have a really cheap headset next year sometime. Really cheap, like $200, $300. More equivalent to the Quest 2 than the Quest 3. So that might change the numbers around some. When you Googled, it sounded like Multicraft was a Minecraft server provider. Oh, interesting. Okay. Replicant true, but to grow the business, they need to expand wider than just console. Sony do, yeah. That doesn't necessarily mean day and date on PC though, because I think the more lucrative avenue for them is probably mobile and cloud. PC is there, and they're like obviously dipping their toes in it, but their games haven't been doing brilliant in that space, numbers wise. We'll see. There's always been there's been long-term rumors of Sony launching their own PC store, which would obviously shift their perspective a lot if they had a PlayStation platform on the PC. Then suddenly they could start selling third-party stuff through that as well. But that's a difficult nut to crack, as Microsoft have found out, as Epic are finding out. PlayStation do have some additional pedigree in that big library to try and launch a PC store if they want to. Tom, you agree that mobile stuff is scary as hell? Yeah, but it has been for a long time. Like, the mobile thing isn't new anymore. Been fear-mongering about the AAA industry, like, downing tools and chasing mobile money for like a decade now. At the end of the day, us people are still putting in enough money that we're worth catering to for the time being, so hopefully. Tony, I did got to you. And you was denied. What are you talking about? I'm not annoying. You're not annoying, Brian. No, nobody here's been annoying. Tom, Nobber of butter or buttered up Nobber. I'm just going to go with both. And Baz, full top price for Resident Evil 8 for mobile. Yes. I don't, like, it should be though, right? It's the same game. It would be weird for it to be cheaper unless you started doing like pounds per frame rate as a model for selling. And it might be that full price game on a mobile is not appealing and doesn't have an audience, and that goes away. I don't see the appeal of Resident Evil on a mobile in the first place, but that's me. Oh no, chat's been derailed. We need the next question. Right, I've got one already. If you were president, what would your new laws be and why? What country are you in, Bri? I can't even begin to address this one. There's much wrong in the world that needs fixing. And it's not easy to fix. I can't go into like philosophical or political thoughts and opinions right now, but this question has been waiting for a while. It's going to be waiting for longer. I can't answer this one. Didn't mean that in a fear-mongery way. Just read half your comment. No, I wasn't accusing you of fear-mongering. I was saying that I fear-monger. I'm the one that always like talks about this scary future of AAA studios chasing mobile money. I'm the fear-monger. And have been for a decade. Same with adverts. It's probably been like 2 decades of just waiting for adverts to encroach on games. And that problem got alleviated when all the streaming services came out and dropped adverts from TV programs. I was like envisioning a future where you're trying to play Halo and between levels you get an ad break. And that seemed like an inevitable place for Bobby Kotick to take gaming. That one never came in. But, you know, streaming services are going back to adverts, so maybe that one will too. Scary things, mobile money, adverts, all of these things that want to destroy our precious gaming. Overpowered or operator or original poster? Confused? Can't wait for Resident Evil 4 VR. I can wait for Resident Evil 4 VR. I think it's going to be brilliant, but I haven't played 8 yet. Or got anywhere in 7. Or gone back to 2 and 3. So I'm going to get Resident Evil 4 as soon as I can to support Capcom's endeavors. I like that they're supporting, like, basically carrying PlayStation VR on their backs at the moment. I will support that. But I'm not in a rush to actually play it because I've got too much to do. Too much VR stuff to do. Nobber, the new channel mascot. No, we've got the badge. The thing you see in the badger, that's a good channel mascot. Too much fear-mongering all around. Nope. Fear-mongering's fine and healthy. If you were OP, what would you do forever? Oh. If I was I see, that's what Isla was asking. If I were overpowered, what would I do forever? If I were an old age pensioner, what would I do forever? I am OP, and what I do is waste my time. So difficult to answer because that's happening right now. Just observe and you'll see how I handle all this power. Peter, your law will be to develop a test that ranked wankerness for politicians. Then we could set parameters under 100%. Well, that would be difficult, Peter. Sirens would be going off all the time. Like, how? No, not going into that. Not going into that. Baz, Crypt Keeper asked, with you being tall, do you have to buy football socks for daily use? No, Baz, I try not to wear socks too often. Regular socks are fine. Thank you for the question. So a dogger is not a knobber. Okay, bring back eye for an eye. Right. You need to finish 7 ASAP so you can finish 8. Yeah, but 7's really difficult, Space Denizen. You're right that I need to, but 7 is tense. I've played it for quite a while, and I think I'm probably like an hour into it. So, I hate Resident Evil puzzles. Resident Evil puzzles are a shit mechanic. It does a good job of like slowing you down enough and making you look around enough that the tension becomes a problem though, so. I'll try and get through 7. Or I might shortcut to 8, I'm not sure. Who is my favourite on this live stream? No, Bri, we're not doing that. Troublemaker you are, troublemaker. It's not Murder Baby. Nice try though. Right. They're the only puzzles that you can do. I don't like Resident Evil puzzles because they don't make sense. I'm all for like coherent world building. And it's episode 13. I thought you meant that he was here. No, he's not. You imagine me in football socks and super short skirts again, Baz? Yeah, stop it, Baz. Happens to be exactly what I'm wearing right now, so there's no need for imagination. Next question. No, we've got one. Do I have an Xbox? Why? Chizzy, yeah, I've got an Xbox. I've got many Xboxes. Got all of the Xboxes. I like the Xbox Series X. I actually use it despite it being... So for a lot of people, the Xbox Series X makes sense because it's in a different room to their PC or whatever. So their Xbox sits on their TV. For me, I don't even have that excuse. My Xbox and my PC are like 3 foot away from each other, both plugged into the same TV, both available to use. And you could say that I have the Xbox because I'm supposed to talk about the Xbox and understand these things and keep up with the technology, and that's part true. But also I do genuinely like the Xbox as a console. So, what did I stick on there? Like Cocoon. I'm going to play Cocoon on the Xbox. I'm not going to play that on my PC. I don't need an RTX 4090 to play Cocoon. There's a bunch of games that are like that. The Xbox is just quick to get into a game and play. Fire it out, play it, go. Don't worry about technical difficulties. I actually, I was playing Halo Infinite on stream on Sunday. And I've convinced myself that because I was playing on PC, it broke the auto aim on my controller. So I want to install Halo Infinite on the Xbox as well, just so I can have that peace of mind that it's working properly while I'm playing it. It's a good console. That's my answer for you. What are your favorite desserts? Everybody has to answer that one. It's a question for everyone. What are everyone's favorite desserts? I like banana cake and carrot cake and apple and cinnamon cake and chocolate cake and sticky toffee pudding and like apple crumble with custard. All of the desserts. I don't eat much dessert, but I do like have a list of them that are delicious. Eating mess? Nah, not so much. So I'm not massive keen on meringue. I do like a lemon meringue pie now that I mention it. Bad. Apple crumble's good, yeah. Replicant doesn't eat desserts. See, my oldest son doesn't touch dessert at all. It's impossible to get him to like anything like that. I don't eat much dessert. I don't eat dessert most days. Oh, cheesecake can be amazing. Yeah, I'll take a cheesecake. It's rare that I would eat a dessert. Dorayaki pancakes, yeah, sure, why not? Replicant, you're lactose, so you can't eat cream. Yeah, that would ruin a lot of desserts. I do enjoy desserts on the very rare occasion that I eat them, but I'm more a fan of savoury food in general. Tony, that's because you don't like desserts much because your desserts are made of Chihuahua milk. So it's not surprising. Viennetta, I'm not such an ice cream guy really, but not sure what to make of that. Baz, gonna move swiftly on. Your mum comes around every Sunday with banana, walnut cake or brownies or other nice things. Send her this way. I would like some banana walnut cake. Isla asks, why is it called shovelware? Why is it called shovelware? Because you indiscriminately just shovel piles of it, like, rather than handling something carefully, you just shovel it. Which you wouldn't do with something precious or something you care about, or at least that's my interpretation of it. But if there is some different origin for the term shovelware, then I'm guessing. Yes, no, I'm guessing. That's just my interpretation of what it means, but I don't know the answer. It's only a pub quiz if someone can go to Google and get the correct answer. While you're all doing that, next question. Is Viennetta still a thing? Yeah, I think so. It has been around forever, but I think you can still get it. I don't know if it's the same. You can't separate it from the image of digging up ET in the desert. I don't think it's related, but I could be wrong. Q&Asa asked, with these layoffs happening these days, are they finally realizing blue-haired devs are not capable of making fun games? That question doesn't make a heap of sense to me. AJH, although what you thought was her putting buttercream, I don't like buttercream at all. Straight whipped cream, yes, your mum's on my side. Buttercream's gross. Cream, absolutely. All these layoffs happening is like sad and usually quite unrelated to the quality of the employees, I think. The metaphor implies that the creators showed little care for the quality of the original software, as if the new compilation or version had been created by indiscriminately adding titles by the shovel. It's the same way that someone would shovel bulk material into a pile. So I was basically right, yeah? My interpretation of shovelware was almost word for word that definition that you just pulled from somewhere. Hooray for me. As don't fuck you assume that blue hair is an ageist thing. Blue hair was definitely associated with old ladies at one point, wasn't it? But I bet some blue-haired people have done some stuff wrong either. But like layoffs that we've had, so Creative Assembly laid off loads of people because they had to shut down Hyenas. It's not any particular like group of people that have chosen to chase games as a service besides CEOs and executive level people. Epic laid off a load of people because they had spent too much money on lawsuits. Again, it's at the executive level that it's gone wrong. Who else has had layoffs? Pretty much all of them are not problems with developers struggling. It's the executive level chasing bad trends, industries shrinking for various reasons. And the people being laid off are probably, again, I wouldn't say just because you got laid off, you're definitely like a great developer, but it's a fair chance a lot of them were. So, executive level problems. Name the famous blue-haired serial killers. That's Sonic. Sonic must have murdered someone by now. Like, some of those robots were sentient, I'm sure. Blue Rinse, yeah, that's the one, Isla. That's the old lady one. That's what I was referring to. True or false? Pets have better night vision than humans. I'm sure it depends on the kind of pet, but definitely some animals have better night vision than humans. Definitely better senses of smell. But I'm taller than most of them and better at Halo. Actually, that one's probably not true. There's probably some pets that are better at Halo than I am, but I can probably beat some of them at Street Fighter. It's probably not true either. There's some games that I'd stand a chance in against your pets. How many subscribers and views do you have? You know you already asked, but you want everyone's answers. I don't know, does anyone here, like, who here has channels that they have subscribers and view counts on? You can see my subscribers because you're on my channel right now and it probably says it somewhere on the page that you're looking at. Views. I don't know. Hold on. This is deeply personal information, I think. But let's have a look. Ah, bollocks, I pressed the wrong thing. Or did I? I have 8,000 hours of watch time in the last, I don't know what period. And I have 4,600 shorts views in the last 90 days. That's curious. I've not done any shorts. I don't know. Basil's got 2,057 subs. Replicant has 10 views of your Cyberpunk 2077 path tracing video. I'm one of them. I looked at it. Where's the view count? I don't know. 9,200 views in the last 28 days. My numbers are like not big and impressive. I'm the unpopular half of Game On Daily. But I did stream 26 times in September, so gotta count for something. You heard a pet can run faster than a human child. I can run faster than a human child. Up to a certain age, at least. What says it on my About page? 95,481 views. Nearly a milestone. Baz, if you're gonna bullshit, you'd need to pick a much bigger number, because that was quite a believable number. Tom, statistically speaking, it's very unlikely to get a blue-haired serial killer. That's a very small percentage of a very small percentage. No way to tell if they overrepresent yet. But Peter had a specific example, right? The question had an answer, I'm assuming. Like, there's going to be a famous one that was blue. Peter, for the avoidance of doubt, you would say the dev industry brings in new blood faster than any other, and rightly so. Good. You don't have the internet capability to stream, and you keep putting your own voice down. I think you say that you talk too rough, which I'm sure isn't true. I'm sure you'd be fine to talk to people. Noggins, welcome, episode 13. How is it going? Is your child doing the sleep stuff? Do you get more than a couple of hours sleep a night at the moment? You don't have the intelligence to stream. Tony, I'm streaming. Anyone can manage it. Too busy spending their money on knives and chloroform to buy hair dye. You don't need both. Like, the knife will do the trick without the chloroform if you're trying to do the killings. I don't recommend it. Please don't come here for advice on serial killing. Don't take that to be a thing, but you're wasting your time with the chemicals if you've got a knife. Thing is, I have a very bright audience. Yes, Peter. Yes, I do. I have a good audience. It's wonderful. Child lost weight and it's been stressful, but you got it sorted. Hospitals are magical. Yeah, childcare is like good in this country. And yes, I gather that would have been a very stressful time. Do you know what it was, episode 13? Can't you dye hair with chloroform? It's worth a try, Tom. Just like make sure you're buy a mattress or something for when you do pass out. Yeah, Tom. Yeah, replicant tried but kept falling asleep. Exactly. Right. Last music you bought, or if you don't buy albums, the last one you rented / streamed and loved. Peter, you know we don't like music is forbidden topic, so I don't know the answer. Don't know the answer. I secretly, after we had this conversation a few weeks ago, where you were talking about how you wouldn't use a shuffled playlist, you'd listen to an album in sequence. I have actually gone, yeah, that's a good point, and listened to some particular live musics in sequence from start to finish for the sake of like absorbing the atmosphere and experience. And that was nice, but I'm not going to tell you what the albums were. Do I play an instrument? No, I wish that I could play an instrument. It's lower on my my list of regrets. It's lower than like not making games and stuff, but I do wish that I had persisted with an instrument. Tiny bit of guitar when I was a child. Not very good at it. Didn't carry on. As you bleach your back hair, that must be difficult. Right, how many of you love white and dark chocolate? I like dark chocolate. I'm not a fan of white chocolate. I can only eat a very tiny bit of white chocolate. But dark chocolate and milk chocolate, all good. AJH, you'd think that I could play the triangle. I'm way too strong. So I destroy the triangle. Tony, you wax your ass hairs. Please dispose of them safely. Oh, we ran out of questions. That's unfortunate. So, somehow the questions lasted like half an hour. It's 11 o'clock now, which is good. Which is good. I appreciate everybody drawing that out and making it entertaining. Hang about, we're voting on chocolate. I can't vote. It goes wrong when I do. Oh, but there's no option for milk chocolate there. I eat all of the racist chocolate, Tom. It's better devoured than left to run amok. Where is normal chocolate? There's some chocolate prejudice right there. Right. That's it. We're done. So, yeah. That's it. We're done. Tomorrow, it's a bit up in the air whether there's a Baldur's Gate stream tomorrow or not. My wife is out during the day and isn't sure what time she'll be back, but there might be. There might be, and if not, there'll be something else. I'll try and get something going tomorrow. In the meantime, I'm going to go and get to work on my first review. No one likes dark chocolate. I like dark chocolate. I count for at least half a person. Thank you, Peter, for coming on and telling us about your early experiences with Forza Motorsport. Sunday we'll have some games. I don't know what yet. You've got rival campaigns to get Minecraft and Overwatch 2 going. I don't know if either of you will see any success there or what will happen. There's Payday and there's Warhammer Dark Tide as options as well. Disney Speedstorm, another rival campaign. Lots of things happening. Too bad that I lost my Square phone. I could have voted on that. It's not lost. It's on the floor behind me, just out of reach. The dark stuff is too bitter. You can get nice dark chocolate, and you can get dark chocolate that is too bitter, yes. Anyway. Yeah, that's it. So, thanks again, everyone. Saturday we'll have Go Live. It's got some people on it. And it's going to taste like plants. Cheers, everyone. I will catch you in the near future. Blah.
Asa. Game on Daily.